So that's where you have to be a bit careful about it. So next part is what you call the mobile usage part, because you have to what you call really educate our students how the mobile phone usage goes. This is not exclusively for what you call not exclusively for only for students in general. See, this figure will really what you call having a scary figure. So if you see the mobile usage, 79.5% use their phone as an alarm clock. Please understand, using mobile as an alarm clock is not a what you call good habit, because you are keeping very near to it, and there could be radiations coming out of it throughout the night because you are keeping it as alarm clock. But almost 4 out of 5 people are using this. Then by chance what you call, if you left the mobile at home, see the statistics, 87.8% or almost 90% of them are uncomfortable, including your students, and they are totally restless. Why? Because they might think that somebody might check my mobile, somebody might do something about my mobile. All these things can happen. Then one of the most dangerous aspect is 55.4% use or look at their phone while driving. Now you have to educate your students. Our students also have got the same habit of what you call doing this while driving also, which can put them under danger, and they might put under others also danger. In both the cases, it's not the good idea. Then a survey has said almost 3 out of 4 or 75.4% of them, they said what you call they are addicted to their phones, which is again something not a good idea. Then see the alarming figure, 65.6% of the people, they check their phones 160 times a day. It's on average. Average means something high as a something low, then you take average of it. Imagine 160 times per day. If they what you call check their phones, even if it's 1 minute, it will be 160 minutes, or almost 3 hours will be wasting in that, which is not a good idea. Of course, dates will not forgo. Okay. And this is something interesting in the classroom. Almost 2/3 of you texted someone in the same room. Suppose if you are taking a what you call class, there could be what you call text exchange from front bench to last bench or side benches. Almost this will be done by 2/3 of the people. And nowadays, earlier there used to be landlines. There used to be what you call one phone, and whenever the phone used to ring, you used to go to near phone and talk. And those days, everybody knew whose call came. Nowadays, it's not the thing. Mobile usage can be there in the what you call washrooms also. So almost 3/4 of the people, they use their phone in the washrooms also. Then that's not very important, upgradation of phone. But remember how much time is being wasted. Think, or you can assess whether your your content is reaching them and how much students have understood, because the questions also not what you call asking in a, what you call this one, it should be effectively asked, because it makes your the thinking visible. And if the students know about this, it shows even the prior knowledge and how much they think about it. Reasoning part also important. All these things what you call for a formative progress, questioning acts an important tool. So how it can be done? Now remember what you call there are few things you have to keep in your mind. Your question should be what you call in such a way that you know that few students are definitely going to answer, few students are definitely not going to answer. Your job is to make even those who are not answering. Somebody is online, please make yourself mute. Okay, selecting what you call a particular students and even making the students who are not what you call able to answer. The idea here is while questioning, you should be telling them the answer may be right or wrong, but they should be able to speak. The idea is there should be interaction. The more they're able to speak in the open or public, they get some confidence. Apart from whatever you have seen, like what you call getting their knowledge, critical thinking, or whatever it may be. But here also more important is like they should also get some confidence to talk in front of others. Then asking in sequence is very important because how your class is being gone, the same thing should be there in the sequencing also. Otherwise, what happens? They might lose their track. So, like from again, while asking question, please remember it should be simple to complex, not complex to simple. Why? Because if you ask complex question, they and if they don't know, they may be demotivated to answer. Whereas if you ask simple questions, then by answering them, they'll be motivated even to answer the complex questions. So that's the psychology behind what you call this one asking questions in a sequence. Then selecting the raised hand students. Okay, this is also very important. Never ignore the students because the students are having very much enthusiastic and answer your questions. And if you ignore them, then next time they may not raise their hand and you may not get a good output. Then selection after modeling the answers. So first you give some models and then ask the student whether the student has understood this one sequence and all. Then it will be much easier. And if you are again making your students to be good for their subjects and to answer well there in examination, you give some questions for homework and next morning you ask the article questions so that it will be a revision for them, and the more revision they do, they can remember better. So that's the idea there. Having that backdrop, let us think of what you call uh, types of students, okay, where you can find in general. Then there is no book gives this information. I could see there are four types of students where you can look into. So one group is called as excellent group. The second group is called as good group. Third group is called as average group. Fourth group is sometimes we refer to as worthless or hopeless. And I'll tell you why. See the first one, excellent group. So this group, if you remember, they don't require your assistance. To be frank, they prepare in advance because nowadays all the syllabi is available on the net. So they prepare in advance. They read it in advance before the class begins. They must have read it during the holidays or the day before or the morning of the day where your classes have been what you call done. Now those students are prepared much in advance and they are very serious in the class, attending to the class, and they clarify doubts because they know what they have read in the beginning before your class. Then the same evening they update, means they make the notes and they make it very perfect, and this habit is there for all the subjects for them, and at the end their success rate is more than 80%. Why? Because their preparation goes three times. Their preparation goes three times: before the class, during the class, and after the class. So what is going to happen is they have got three times updation. Now their memory is very strong and they can score easily. The next group is a good students, where in this case in the good students, the idea here is these students not prepare in advance, but they come to the class, they are very serious in the class. At the same evening, they go back to what you call the home or hostel or PG wherever they stay, and they update themselves by writing notes and doing things. But their preparation is only twice, and according the success rate is also less, maybe around 60% or above. There is a big group of third group called as average group. So this average group, to be frank, they don't prepare in advance. They don't even update same day itself. Like good students, these students will what you call prepare, or they get up psychologically, or they get a what you call awareness when the examination timetable is announced on the notice board or the website. That time they are highly alert. Now they start studying just few days before the what you call examination. Somehow they prepare something, and since their preparation is very less, they score around 40 to 50% because the preparations are very less. There is another group, you call them worthless. Why? Because they don't prepare in advance like excellent students. They don't even write the notes in the evening like the good students. They don't even get alert when the timetable is announced. They think that examination timetable is for somebody else, not for them. And these students, they get active only 1 or 2 days before the examination. So this is the problem they have. Now remember the tension and anxiety which they have because they have not prepared anything before. Now suddenly within 2 days or within 24 to 48 hours, they have to read the entire syllabus and prepare for examination. In this hurriedness and anxiety and stress, what they do is they go to nearby hostel, Xerox, whatever is there, including the previous semesters or next semesters, and whether it's required or not, they'll bring a big pile of notes printed or online. Now they start studying 24/7 because they don't have time. And in the process, they must have read something unwanted or on this one, and something which is not important, something which is important, they may have left it out. So you know what's going to happen. They are going to be a miserable failure or just pass. So identify these students. That's the main idea here. Identify these students who are excellent, good, average, or this one. Now encourage the students who are in the fourth group to get into at least third group. You cannot put into fourth into the first. Impossible. Whereas those who are in the average group,
Sorry for
can,
the interruption, sir.
yeah.
Sir, actually, the screen share ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನಿಮ್ದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕೂಡ ಆನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆಡಿಯೋ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಟೈಪ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ನೋಡಿ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Share
PPT not show, sir.
I'll open it. I'll again open. I shared it already. ಈಗ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ.
ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಶೇರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್.
Okay. At least now you understand there are 4 groups: excellent, good, average, and worthless or worthless we call them. You know the features of excellent students now. You know the features of good students. Innam helbeka? Should I tell again?
No sir, we understood.
No sir, continue.
Okay. Now being a teacher, good teacher, identify these 4 groups. That is more important. Now your job is to improve upon them. Why? Because you have to bring a change in the student. So at least you can bring a change from 4th group to the 3rd group, to the average to the good, and good to the excellent. I think you are making your job better. Please understand this. Why? Because, and you might ask what to do with the first group. They're already excellent. Ask them to achieve more and more. Already they have achieved, but you can still what you call still you can motivate them to become much more excellent. And all these 4 groups are available in your class. Your job is to identify them first, then make a change, and that is where even the mentoring part between students, you are a mentor for many students, but within that you can make subgroups so that even those students can benefit out of it. So that's the idea there. Now I have another issue with you people. Now I'm going to show a picture or a puzzle for you. Now how you are going to solve it? I'll just highlight on the screen. Take your pen and what you call a paper. So you are seeing a 9 dot. Ignore the what you call outside what you call frame. You have to connect these 9 dots without lifting your pen. One condition, and you have to use only 4 straight lines. I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes. So draw 9 dots. Try to connect from 4 straight lines, no bending.
No, sir.
Anybody has worked out? You can. Anyone? So this is actually it's very simple. Only thing is, okay, I'll give a clue. This is related to something like problem solving. If you think that within those 9 dots, you'll not get the answer. Don't think in a traditional way. The moment if you start thinking in a traditional way, you will never get the answer. Think out of the box solution and try to connect all the 9 dots. I'll give 1 more minute. Okay, 16:07. I'll wait till 16:08. You bring out of the box solution? Not done.
Sir, it is nothing. Shivkumar.
Shivkumar, can you show me on the screen?
Okay, sir.
Who is on the line?
Sir, it is. Sir, is blur.
Shivkumar, show me. I'm not able to see.
Okay, wait, sir. Sir, it is.
Sharana Basav, sir, no. You have lifted the pen.
Sir, here it is.
Okay, Soumya K, madam, you are right. Okay. Okay, if you have seen Soumya K, okay, I'll show the answer. So this is the answer. Now I said, if you think only between these 9 dots, you'll never get the answer. So the traditional way of thinking would not give you the answer. So what you have to do is start from the first line, go diagonally. That's the first line. Go to the second, that's on the top, but extend more. That extension is out of the box solution. Then again, go diagonally down, extend more, and lastly connect to this one. So you have used only 4 straight lines. No bending, nothing. Okay, Soumya madam, now challenge is with the 3 lines. The same problem. Now it is with the 3 lines. Now you know the concept. So I'll give one option. Instead of these dots, you can increase it to a small, bigger rounds or small circles. Think of this, where you can still work out with the 3 lines. Earlier we had a problem with the 4. Now we can work out with the 3 lines. And answer is yes. Ravi sir, okay, can you show, because I'm not able to see.
Yes, sir.
You showed me something, but again, it's not shown now. No, sir, because all the 9 dots are not connected. All the 9 dots have to be connected with the 3 lines. With the 3 lines. Anybody else?
So can you see Ramya?
Huh?
Ramya B.
Madam, where are you? I'm not able to see on the screen. Okay. Your number?
46.
46. Okay, wait a minute. 46.
Here it is, sir.
Huh? No, I'm checking on the screen because all of you are not visible on my screen. 41 is a 30, 25, 40. Okay, Sharnabasa sir, you are also showing something. Not very clear,
Sir,
sir.
this one, sir. Sir.
Okay, Ramya madam. Yes, I'm going to see you, but okay, Ramya madam is showing the right answer. Okay, but I'll tell you what exactly to be done. Okay, Ramya madam is right. Okay, anyone else?
Sir, this one, sir.
Patimani sir, there is 1, 2. See, some lines are missing. In between lines are missing. Dots. There are in between dots. You are left. Okay, now I'll. Okay, are you going to see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Only Ramya madam will show the right answer. Are you going to see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Only 3 lines. Okay, I'll tell you the trick. One thing is you have started from the top, and this point you have made on the connection on the top. This is in the center, and this is on the down. So again, extend the line, top, middle, send down. Again, extend top, middle, down. So this is how you can solve the problem even with the 3 lines. Somebody is online, please mute. Okay. So are you getting the point how it is being done? These things are called as out of box solutions. Okay, that is more important. Then how we are going to shape the classroom environment. Remember, this is what you call how you shape a classroom environment apart from what you call physical environment, a kind of psychological environment, and what kind of participation you have in mind. So you have to arrange a classroom in a way that encourages the active engagement and something that we call it as a positive way of engaging. Now, how many of you really tell the students what is expected from the department or from your side to the students? Have you said anybody about your expectations, what you expect from the students, how they should be, how they have to behave, and what time they have to submit, and if they are not submitting, what is going to happen? You make your expectations very clear to the students. At the same time, how many of you asked what students expect from you? It should be mutual. Why mutual? Because it is not that you are expecting something only from the students, that they should be punctual, they should be on time, this one. Even students have their own demands. So their demands could be diverse. So you should listen to them also. So from beginning only, make your expectations clear from the students, and at the same time, ask the students what is their expectation from you, that how they expect your class. Now, this is where you can have build a better rapport or a cordial environment in the class. Sometimes what happens, you are not given instructions thinking that you have given instructions, and next day you come and blast. Not a good idea. They might say something wrong with our teacher. So never give such options, and never get overexcited or never get angry in the class too much. That shows your weakness inside the class. So you have to control your anger. You have to manage your anger. You have to manage in better way that any students can approach you without any problem or without any anxiety or fear. Sometimes what happens if you shout in the classroom and all, next time the students will not come to you at all. They think this talking to this teacher itself is a what you call painful job. So they might avoid you. That is not a thing. Then the moment they start avoiding you, you are not going to be a good teacher. You may be a tough teacher, but you are not going to be a good teacher. So that is more important. Then, how many of you remember your student's name? Do you remember all of your students' name?
Yes, I know, sir.
Madam, what is the advantage of it? Siri
Sir,
Mariha. Huh?
no, Chanama, it's, sorry. I didn't rename the name.
Okay.
Sorry, sir, because every day I take the attendance. So I remember almost every student's name.
What is the advantage, madam? There is a big
So
advantage.
if I know their name, I can question them one by one, so by their names, and even I can assess their performance by their name exactly, accurately.
Okay.
Sir,
Adding to, yes, somebody said.
Sir,
Sorry.
sir, the advantage is that the students will feel happy, sir, that in classroom teacher by the name she is all.
Who is talking? Ravi here or what? Who is talking about this? Who is on the line? Okay, I think the line got disconnected. Okay, whomever responded, that's the right answer. There are two things. One is earlier student didn't know that, okay, his name was known to teacher or sir or ma'am. Now the sir or ma'am, when they calls by name, they are happy that they are being recognized by a teacher. Second thing is they are more alert now. Why? Because you know them by their names. This can bring a lot of changes in your interaction. The moment you call, they're definitely happy. Why? Because teacher knows my name. There could be 100 students, but only few students names the teacher will remember. But if that student is one among them, don't you think he'll be happy? At the same time, he'll be more alert because my teacher knows my name. That is can bring a lot of change inside the class. So this is how you can shape the environment. The next part is planning. Okay. So these things are indirectly given in NEP or SCP. Okay. So what usually we do is in a group discussion, we give some of the responsibility for the students. It is like a project work. So where each one is given what you call a kind of responsibility, so that usually when the responsibility is given, the participation effect is better. See, on a simple level, if you give a seminar to a student, how much he's going to learn, and the same question is repeated in the main examination. I think you have done your job well, because that must have helped the student a lot. So assigning students some of the responsibility is one of the thing to improve the student performance. And as I said, just don't what you call stick on to the lecture method or a chalk and talk method. We have advanced a lot. Now here the idea here is give some what you call small topics to the students. Since you have got IA marks with you, you can give an incentive. Like those who present, I'll give 2 marks plus on whatever they have scored. This can bring a lot of change among the students. Now they start studying more, and as a teacher, what we expect is that students should score better. That's what we most of the time expect, and be a good student. Now, definitely, when you add this what you call discussion, and one who contributes more, for them what you call you give what you call more marks openly, you declare openly, and that can motivate others. So this is where what you call You can do a quiz. You can do what you call follow-up questions. You can do a lot of things inside the class. But only thing is, ultimately, the students have to understood or understand what the content you want to what you call provide them. So that's what you call the idea is. And what I do is definitely I follow that for whether theory or practical. We give an open offer to the students. Those are willing to present a small topic, they will get +2, whether it's in practical or this one. Or if they publish one article, believe it or not, you can encourage your students to publish articles. Don't expect that only during their research. That means when they're PhD or MPhil, they have to publish papers. I can give examples where our undergraduate students are publishing articles. Of course, they require some guidance, and we have done that. So why not you also encourage that? It could be a small publication. It may not be a groundbreaking research, but nowadays that can encourage our students to do more in the future. So, and those who publish articles, those who have gone for what you call conferences, presented papers, whatever the paper quality may be, or if they've done internship, definitely encourage them, because they have gone out of their traditional way of just sitting inside the classroom. They have done more academics even outside the classroom. You encourage them by providing additional marks within your limits. That can be done and that can be planned in a better way. Then listening and responding. Now, remember, when you talk about listening and responding, you have to use verbal and non-verbal cues to encourage participation. Sometimes our body language gives enough clues for the student to participate. So it could be verbal or it could be non-verbal cues to encourage participation. Okay. And don't bump upon student immediately asking question and immediately seeking answer. No, not a good idea. You have to give enough time. The moment you give enough time to think and then they answer, okay, that's a good way of behaving inside the class. And sometimes students what you call ask questions. I don't what you call discourage few of the teachers there. Some of the teachers have got a habit. When a student asks questions and the person doesn't know the answer, the teacher shouts at the student, stupid, meaningless question, baseless question. Never do this. So if a student is asking question, encourage questioning inside the class. Never blame a student just because we don't know the answer. Next time student will not ask the question because you have blamed him and you have killed the creativity of a student. So in such cases, what to do? Please understand this. When a student asks question and we don't know the answer, yes, it brings a little awkwardness among us, uncomfortableness, but take it positive. Thankful for the student, thank him, but never blame him. You tell him, very good question, but right now you don't get the answer, but tomorrow you'll get the answer. You have to thankful for the student. Why? Because a part of you which has not read that content, which is not what you call you are mastered. Now the student has given you an opportunity to learn. You understand? I think you understand the point where you are trying to answer that question immediately. After that, once you go back, immediately refer that question, get the answer. Next day, before you start the class, you raise that question which I asked and point out to that boy, this boy or girl has asked this question. Yesterday we couldn't answer. Today there is an answer. Now that shows that how positive you are and how you are open to receive such comments. Don't directly bump on the student since you don't know the question. Answer. Thankful for him. This is what, because he has said, dear teacher, your preparation is not enough. Indirectly, it flashes that. That means you are not prepared well. Because if I ask a question You are supposed to answer, but doesn't matter. We are not pandits in all the subjects, in all the things. But acknowledging and next day answering back is a good gesture from a teacher. So that's what I meant to say. And you have to provide inside the class specific, encouraging, and varied responses. That is what required. Now, don't give a generalized answer because generalized answer might get confused by the student. And the responses should be encouraging, not rather discouraging. And you cannot give the same answer, what you call, to the different questions by different this one. So you have to give varied responses depending upon the question or the queries raised by the student. And sometimes you have to repeat student responses so that it will fix in their mind and summarize to or clarify ideas. And sometimes one student asks question. If you are intelligent enough and if you don't know the answer, you can redirect those to other students whether they know about it. This is what you call smart way of behaving. Even then, when other students don't know about it, then it's your turn, you have to answer, or next day you have to give the answer. And never what you call ignore student ideas. I don't know, nowadays in various universities, you are having, I don't know how many of you know the concept of incubation centers. Have you heard of it? Incubation centers, even the colleges they have, and startups. You know, these are the small inventions done by the students for welfare of the society. So some student may have ideas, and these ideas can have a better reflection for the society. So now you encourage those ideas, definitely you will have an upper hand in the class as a teacher. Then the next part is feedbacks. For emotive and cognitive feedback for the students, these are the three things: where I'm going, how I'm going there, where next. Starting with the goals to progress to consequences. Now, if you clarify this, I think you're doing a great job. Because many times students are confused where I'm going, means what is his major goal and how I'm getting there, where you will be helpful for how to what you call reach a particular position. It could be varied examinations, competitive examinations, or anything. How the student is going to reach there, the progress, where you are going to help, and where next. Because again, when a student comes to you telling that I want to become this, now please advise him always to have plan A or plan B. Because if plan A doesn't work, let him try for plan B. Because if only student thinks plan A only, and if it's not working out, the student might end up in frustration that can have negative consequences rather than positive consequences. So if the student have one or two plans or minimum of two plans, not more, minimum or maximum of two plans, and this can have greater impact. If plan A is not working, the student can think of plan B. So this is where you can give a emotive and cognitive feedback. Remember, the students will have lot of what you call faith on the teachers. That whatever you say, they blindly follow. The sincere student will be with you all the time. So that is more important. Then feedback. As I was discussing about how this feedback is important for teachers. Now, the first and foremost, the idea is, as I said, if majority of the students are failing in the class, it reflects on the teacher's quality of teaching than the student's quality of studying. Why? Because if all of them or most of them are failing, that means a teacher is a failure in making them the content clarity and content understanding, which they have miserably failed to understand. That is why they have done very bad in their examination, which led to the failure. Now, this is where as a teacher, you should reflect on yourself, whether I'm reaching the students or not. For that, you should have anonymous feedback. As I said, I'm not talking about NAC or college, what do you call this one, college 6 student feedback, where sometimes students are scared and giving all what do you call total positive feedback. I'm not talking about that. As a teacher, if you want to improve yourself, this may not be done on a college level, at least be done on the your student group. First of all, it should be anonymous. So once anonymous comes, any student can what you call give his or her opinion without any fear. So make it anonymous. No writing comments in the feedback form. It's only tick marks. So now tick marks you can have a grading. So you know there are several formats are available for what you call a teacher performance. How the teachers now the performer might contain the entry to exit, including later examination system and evaluation system by the teacher. So the classroom thing is entry to exit. There could be few questions, and how the teacher evaluates, that also important. And you might seek suggestions also from the students if you really want to improve yourself. So that's why we talk about feedback. So sometimes some students might say sometimes you rush in your class, which nobody understands. Now that means in which specific portion you have gone fast, which student had difficulties. Now it's your job to remake it up, go back to the class, again explain. Now, based on this, now for example, I would go on the first day, I would go to the class. After my class, few things are required. One is about the speed of presentation. Then three important things. What did you like? What did you don't like? And what is expected more? These are the simple 4 questions which any teacher should ask. Whether they what you call the speed of presentation is okay or speed of lecture is okay. Second thing is what they liked about the class, what they didn't like about the class, what they expected more about the class. Now they can tell open feedback, or they can tell you in writing that this is what is required, this is what is not required. It may include your body language aspect, it may include the way you are presented. So all that I want you to what you call take it in a positive way. That is more important. All these things I am telling because you have to take this in a positive way to improve yourself. A teacher, a student, one of the students might say, your teaching is boring. Now, remember, if that comment comes, of course, it's anonymous comment. What could be your response? Now I'm asking the teachers there. Your classes are not interesting. You get a comment. So how you are going to introspect yourself? Why the class? Why the student perceived your class as boring? Or why the class is not being get interested? You can answer in general if you don't want to. I'm not targeting, you're telling that your class. If at all that comment comes, how you are going to manage the things? Anyone there? You can
by
answer.
changing the concept, by changing the concept, sir. By changing the concept.
Sir, you are right, but can you give an example?
See, if I am teaching any subject or any concept, if it gets bored and I'm not getting any response, just I want to change the concept or subject.
That's one part. Okay. Any other responses?
By doing interactions with students.
Okay, more answers.
ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನಮ್ದು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
Okay, madam, the student is telling we don't find this particular teacher's class is interesting. Because you can make any subject. You can make any subject interesting. It's not that you don't say some subjects are boring. No, I don't agree with that. All the subjects are interesting. It's with the teacher to make it interesting or uninteresting.
Sir.
Kattimani sir. Okay.
Sir, first I think so. Teacher must understand the reason for why the students are getting boring, sir.
That is the first thing. Very good.
Maybe
Okay.
the teacher wants. Sir.
First,
so the teacher should understand, sir. That's very.
Okay, now I understood that. Okay, my class are boring for my students. What next? Anybody can answer that?
Sir, that's a reason, sir. Why
boring?
Why boring? Why it's
Okay, there is
problem.
Hema madam. Okay, okay, okay. Hema madam has answer. Okay, Hema madam.
ಸರ್ ಯಾವ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬೋರಿಂಗ್, ಮೇಡಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೇ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಏನ್
ಕಾರಣ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಸರಿಪಡಿಸ್ ಅದರದ್ದು ಕಾರಣ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕಾರಣ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಸರ್.
Okay, now you have come to identify the reasons for why the class is boring or not interesting. Now introspect yourself. How that entire 1 hour went on. Did you speak in general or did you speak specific? You go back to our afternoon first session. How we have to bring it, making it the things live. Did you have any problem inside the class, or did you bring your what you call some of the thinking part from your home? So which was interrupted in your what you call lecture session. Sometimes it happens. You are under stress. You are under tension. And that time, what happens is your class is not effective. So one of the major thing is you are mixing your emotions while teaching. In such cases, you are more bothered and you don't know what kind of teaching quality occurs there. So my simple article idea here is, or the tip for you is, never bring home to your college or this one institution, and never take your institution to home. In both the places, if you do that, you are highly unsuccessful. Hope you are getting my point. ಮನೆದನ್ನು ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ತರಬೇಡಿ, ಕಾಲೇಜನ್ನು ಮನೆಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆಗೂ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. So this is what I wanted to tell. So that could be only one reason. There could be several reasons. One thing is, sometimes what happens, the subject may be complex or the content may be complex. You have not made it simple. So this is where your failure, as the students are not understood. When this now understand why the student gets bored, when the student finds it difficult to understand, that is the first level he gets boring. When it's much more what you call happening, then the student gets into uninterested part, and subsequently he might avoid your class. So that also can happen. So all the tips which you have shown in the beginning, you have to definitely use them. That's another thing. And initially it could be a little negative for you if you get such comment, but don't be discouraged out of it. The moment you're discouraged, you lose interest and you lose job satisfaction. Take those comments positively and take a challenge that next time our next hour will be better than the previous hour. Definitely today, if you are talking like this, it's because of your practice. The practice makes you perfect. The more you practice, the more you teach, it really makes you perfect. So there is nothing like what you call, you can do something what you call negative about it. Take the feedbacks positive definitely you can have a what you call a success over your teaching, and you can be a what you call a better teacher. So that's a one part. And there are a few other things I wanted to talk to you another few minutes because we are left is a short time. One of the important thing is which I wanted to tell you at the last. Make your subject interesting, and in a short span, what you call our students can understand with the interest is the concept of mind maps. How many of you know the concept of mind map? Anywhere you heard of? So this mind map makes the topic interesting as well as gathering of information in short versions. So the idea about in mind map is it's innovative way. Please understand this. It was done in innovative way. Tony Buzan was a person who developed entire notes is not written like a notes with the key, and the entire article things were done through pictorial and keywords. And we can use visual and sensory tools, and this kind of information can be recollected for a longer time. That means the memory can last for a longer time. So that's the idea in the mind map. I'll show an example, then it will be easier. Now, what are the benefits of mind map? So when you give an idea, the idea is it can brainstorm and explore any idea, concept, or a problem. It can facilitate better understanding or relationships and connections between ideas and concepts. Then, easy way to communicate new ideas and the thought process. And one of the important thing is it can make memory recollection back very fast. So by seeing just one mind map, they can do a lot of things. And they can write a detailed notes and plan tasks. And which will make organize ideas and concept a very easier way. Of course, there is not much of time to going for steps, but I'll show one mind map. You should be able to answer this. Why on what you call? I'll show a mind map now. See now. Are you seeing?
Yes, sir.
I've given a very general one mind map, and you believe it or not, a student can write 3 to 4 pages of notes on looking at this. Can anyone explain how this can go? The concept is saving environment. See how many concepts are embedded through pictorial form and keywords. Okay, let me start. See, the first you have seen the center where the globe is seen, and it's in the hands. That itself is the first indication. Save environment from global warming. And there is a small tree-like structure if you see there. See how carefully this mind map is done. So that means what? To save environment, planting tree is one of the major drive. Okay, see on the left side down, there are 3 words have been used. Reuse, reduce, recycle. That means what? Don't go for producing new things. So entire thing based on recycling, reducing and reusing. Now imagine so many things. Recycling, you can bring few notes from that. Reducing, reusing. Nowadays, you know how the plastic we are reducing, and whatever the plastic is there, we are reusing for other reasons in a productive way. See, there is on the top, there is a what you call thermometer. That means what? Reduce heat and global warming. And this can be done by afforestation, not deforestation. See how this one. And see here, there is a on the right side of this one, a man walking, there's a plus sign, car and minus, and there's a bicycle. That means what?
Carbon monoxide.
Yeah, that's the one thing, sir. What is the other thing? The man is walking, there is a cycle there, there is a car, there is a plus and there is a minus. See how this all what you call required. The more you use vehicles, lot of diesel and petrol and other petroleum products are being used, which are perishable. In the future, you may not get. Of course, electric vehicles have come, but how far? That's why plus means what? Use more of bicycles. Almost in all the foreign universities, you can find bicycles. And if you have seen Mysore, we have got Trin. And in few of the cities, it is being what you call there. Don't use these motorized vehicles. Use the Trin and walk. What's another benefit of cycling and walking?
Healthy.
Your health is improved. Lot of dopamine is secreted. You look more fit. The more you look more fit, you can survive better. If you survive better, you can take care of the environment better. See, the notes are coming. See on the right side top. Where? Reduce the use of electricity. Why? Because we are dependent on water resources or hydro or nuclear plants for electricity. So how long we can use hydroelectricity if rains are not coming? So if you start saving, and that definitely saves our environment. And this picture shows only few concepts for this one. You can add use of artificial intelligence in saving environment. That is a new concept in the mind map for save environment. Now with this kind of picture, what I am showing, you can write 4 pages of notes, isn't it? Can't you write more notes on this? And don't you think this will be making more interesting for our students than the way you tell or the way you explain through a mind map? So think of this concept also, establishing a concept-based issues through a mind map, which makes students interesting. And when the things are being interested for a student, remember the recall is better. Once the recall is better, automatically his exam answers also better. So definitely quality of answers also good. He'll get what you call good marks. So that's the idea in mind maps. So my sincere request is, wherever possible, try to use the mind maps, which is what you call proved to be very highly effective in increasing students' recall for the future or in the later stages. Okay, I'll leave few minutes for you. Finally, introspect yourself as a teacher. Did you provide sufficient information on the topic you delivered? That is more important. Did you really provide? Or did you beat around bush? Did you clarify all the doubts and queries raised by the students? Or did you blame them? Were you happy and had sense of fulfillment when you came out of the class? If you have what you call happy, I really appreciate you, because you can be happy when you come out of the class, when you successfully finish the class, not abruptly or beating around the bush. Then you will have a guilt feeling. You should enjoy. How many of you enjoy your class, by the way? First of all, teacher should enjoy his class. If you don't enjoy your class, then how you expect your students to enjoy your class? So that is where you have to do that. And the last point is, dear teachers, there are some teachers, they go behind the awards. I don't expect you to go behind the awards. Let others can identify you and awards follow you. That is more important. There are paid awards are there. there you get requests from other agencies. You have been selected for this award, but you have to be member for this, pay 10,000 or 20,000. Then you'll be called for a function and given an award. That is not a true award. You know what's a true award? Even after 10 years of teaching, a student come in search of you. You are my teacher. You did some changes in my life. And if he's thankful for that, I think that's the biggest award as a teacher you can get.